Good evening, people. It's Thirsty Thursday here on the Brews at 10. Thanks for joining us on my left eye's brew-based weekday live stream. I'm your host Lefty. You're all very welcome this evening. Thank you for joining me. Yes, if you have a thirst for not just tea, but the latest talking points and topics from a left-wing socialist perspective, then you're in the right place. And we try and have a few light-hearted moments when we go through as well. It's not just doom scrolling. Let's have a look and see who's hitting up the chat. Divinia was first in this evening. Good evening, great to see you. Chris and Hedy as well. We have 100% members in the chat. Quality. But all are welcome. If you're listening but not subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. You can join the chat just 60 seconds later. And please do hit the thumbs up whilst you're at it, please, people. Oh, go on, Divinia, treat yourself, have a biscuit. I might have had one not too long before I came onto the stream. We're getting towards the end of the week, it's almost the weekend. Celebrates with a biscuit. Emma, nice to see you in the chat. Hope you're brewing well tonight. I thought I might be shortish on talking points earlier on in the day, but a few things have developed since then. Not just the announcement of the new Pope, there's the US and America trade deal. I'll take a look at that. A bit more about Reform's latest antics, I should say. Yeah, we always have to keep our left eye on those. And of course, it is the actual BE Day today. There were celebrations on Sunday. Of course, it's the 8th today, so that was the day that fascism was defeated in Europe. Yay! Let's keep it that way, please. Unfortunately, in a few areas, it's heading rather rapidly in the wrong direction. But that's what we're here for. Let's get interactive tonight. Let me know what you think about all the topics as we go through them. Together in Solidari-Tea, we can stand up to the right. What else have I got coming up for you? Ah, yes. Just quickly on the US-UK trade deal, stick around, we're going to be having a bonus round for regular feature on the channel, Keith's Catchphrases, as we go through his press conference. It's just a short announcement, short video, but I thought it was probably worth keeping an official count. Yeah, and I'll be going into the stats as to whether it's a good deal or not. Spoiler alert, the UK is getting absolutely shafted. And if you were with me yesterday during PMQs, you remember Shockat Adam had his turn to speak, put some questions to Starmer about Gaza, which were largely ignored. But he's not just going to let that slide. Shockat Adam, who unseated Jonathan Ashworth, of course, in last year's election, has chased him up I'll be taking a look at that. One of the more light-hearted moments I'll be going through. Environmentalist and friend of the channel, Climate Lens, has released a new video, which has some excellent camera work on it, I really must say. But it's the latest Donald Trump parody, and this time he actually visits an unofficial, I should say, an unofficial Just Up All Social event in Manchester. Yeah, that plus a few other bits and pieces to come. Including, speaking of local events, that is local to where this broadcast is coming from you this evening, the stream, here in the Northwest. There have been arrests at what you could call Nazi parties, but not in the political sense, in the, I guess, celebratory social context, which I find pretty repulsive. Someone who I know shared that on social media earlier, so I'll be going through that article. Pretty disappointed. Of course, Manchester and the Northwest has a great socialist history. In fact, it's in this part of the UK that the only surviving official socialist club still survives. But you're always going to get one or two dickheads, aren't you? Unfortunately. Plus a few other bits and pieces. I'll try and thread it together nicely. With extraneously linked segues. Oh, do we have a birthday? Have we got a birthday? Emma, it's your birthday. Congratulations. Yes, everybody, please do wish Emma a happy birthday in the chat. Thanks for celebrating with us here on the stream. Solidari-Tea to you. I've just got the tea this evening. I've got an empty glass here, but I can raise that to you. Alas, it doesn't have any tipple in it. But alright, people. Let's give a customary thanks to the members, of course. As I always like to do at the start of the streams. Thanks for gifted memberships on yesterday's stream again. That's awesome. Getting ever to that, ever closer to that goal. We're into the 80s now. 80 out of 100. 80 odd, I should say. Thanks to those of you who've renewed as well. I do get quite a lot of good data from memberships from YouTube, and it lets you know if people have renewed and how long people have been members for. Every time I'm updating this list, I get to go through the data, and yeah, it's really great to see so many of you sticking with the channel for so long. Thanks again. There's lots of ways to support the channel, of course, not just financially, to help sustain and expand the channel. As I said, obviously hitting the thumbs up button goes a long way. Give us a share across your social media as well, and please do comment on the recent content as well. Much appreciated. That would be awesome. What a show of solidarity that would be, people. Emma, I noticed how you're celebrating today. That's very convenient, I guess. Nice and chill day. Well, this is... well, it's a kind of chilly stream, not in the cold sense. So I hope you're enjoying the chill vibes. That's funny you mentioned that Davinia, that quote from Allo Allo. I think that came up in some video I was watching not too long ago. I think something to do with classic British comedies and things like this, but I do remember that bit, the French policeman. And it was a really good show. The thing with that is they were all speaking in different languages, but we hear it in English as the audience. So when, for example, in this case, their French isn't that good, then it comes out that strange way. I was just pissing and thought I would poop in. Yeah. Great stuff. I was just pissing and thought I would poop. For now. And interestingly enough, it's set in occupied France. And here we are on VE Day. At the risk of getting further sidetracked, I'm going to occupy myself by bringing you guys up on the screen. Great to see you. Let's just refresh this and we should be good to go. Bada boop, bada bing, he says. There we go. He was the only member of the cast who could actually speak French in real life. Yeah, his character was undercover. He was British, wasn't he? So he's supposed to be speaking French, but that's how they hear it because he's not that great at it. Is he one of the only surviving cast? Well, it was in the 80s, wasn't it? I think, yeah. So, not all of them were spring chickens at the time either, so. I do remember that particular line though. Anyway, we'll have to say au revoir to Allo Allo. Just for now, we've got to get cracking on with things on the stream, clips, articles and whatnot. Amber tangent alert. We're on a amber tangent alert. I'll move on and then it'll go back to green. The way I know, by the way, Phil, the mute producer who definitely exists, holds up different coloured cards just to let me know where I'm at. Oh, I need to read this out as well. Sorry, if you'll just give me a moment. Where is it? There we go. And Phil is definitely not blackmailing me and is the handsomest producer on YouTube. Oh, God. Okay. Let's begin with something a bit light-hearted. Of course. So do you remember yesterday we had that guy, what was his name? Omar Badawi, who was showing how the Daily Mail crop images and change the context of them for right-wing tropes. This is another really good one from someone I've featured on the channel before, but not for a while. Someone you should definitely follow on his new channel, his previous one having been discontinued for his support of Gaza, I believe, something he said about Israel and Gaza. But Rathbone, who's a great analyst as well as providing comedy content like this, has done a great bit on how they are training, on how Israel, say, would train its media team, or its spokespeople, for example. You know who I'm on about, the likes of David Mensa, Zippy Hotovelli. Who's that other god-awful one that they used to have? But you know the ilk of which I speak, people. So if you're not already familiar, go and check out Rathbone, that's Rathbone. And this is it.
The old town, Hamas stronghold, hospital,
Sorry.
Hamas command center, school, Hamas training facility, civilians, Hamas battalions, families, garbage targets, children, junior militants, babies, future terrorists, home, kill zone, Wi-Fi, terror tunnel, MRI, AK-47, food, terror fuel, water, terror juice, health ministry, Hamas run, the you fucking in, Jew haters, the world court, anti-Semitic, medicine, terror pills, journalists, Jew haters, media, Hamas funded, bakery, Hamas created, Houthis, Hamas adjacent, Gaza, West Bank, Jordan, Greater Israel, deliberate killings, misidentification, extrajudicial murder. Israel has the right to defend itself. Children's puzzle, threat to national security. And if the press pipes up, we're looking into it. And if they won't shut up, we found we did nothing wrong. Excellent. The old town.
Really good stuff. No, it's funny because it's true. It's one of those. It's fine, yeah, these 3 and 4 berth tents full of starving people is actually a command and control centre. That's the way they always try and spin it. So go and give Rathbone a follow there. He's on YouTube, Blue Sky, Twitter. I'll post a link in the description of the stream as well. So now, people, let's talk Turkey. Let's talk tariffs. Let's talk over the UK and US trade deal, which was just announced earlier today. As I hinted at earlier, the UK doesn't come out of it on the better side. It's definitely, I guess how would the mainstream media try and describe it in a jolly way? Nick Robinson or something like that. Would you say it's a case of the toaster's landed the butter side down on this one? Something like that, you know what they're like. We're getting shafted is another way of putting it. I believe some people have officially said that. So here's how we're going to get through this, people. I'm going to go through the announcement as it happened live. This was a conversation between Starmer and Trump over the phone, and the press were there on Trump's side. And he was surrounded as well by entourage, but also including, oh God, big deep breaths. You can just say his name. It's okay. It's okay. Was the United Kingdom ambassador to the United States, Peter You know who I mean. Peter M was there. So unfortunately, I will be subjecting you to having to look at him and Trump in the same frame for a slightly sustained amount of time. Not something I find particularly enjoyable. But we do have a responsibility to stand up to the right, so after we've seen Trump's announcements, Keith says he then goes on to do a press conference. That's where we're going to see a 5-minute video, people, of what he said in the conference, and that's where we're going to be having the bonus round of Keith's catchphrases. So once again, we'll be pitting Postman Twat up against Change, who sadly bowed out at the last PMQs, but I think we'll allow them one bonus round for this one. And then I'll be getting into the bare bones of the stats, what it actually means, the details that we know at this point anyway.
We are getting...
Right, I'm just going to have to skip through this. I think it's around here where he, just starts to come in. So as we look at it, over Trump's right shoulder is where you'll see Peter... Oh, God. Peter M.
It's the US President. Let's put the microphones up.
In addition, the UK will reduce or eliminate numerous non-tariff barriers that unfairly discriminated against American products. But this is now turning out, I think, really to be a great deal for both countries, because it'll be really great for the UK also. So they're opening up the country. Their country is a little closed, and we appreciate that. They'll also be fast-tracking America.
Opening up. Yeah. I know exactly what we're opening up, Donald, and that's why we're getting shafted. Opening up is not how I'd choose to describe it. Capitulating, and I'll go into the reasons why later.
American goods through their customs process, so our exports go to a very, very quick form of approval, and there won't be any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks. We'll have it all very conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's been approved. So good for both countries, and we'll also receive new market access for American chemicals, machinery, and many other industrial products that weren't allowed, and they'll end up getting products that they'll be able to price, and if they like them better and we make great products, they'll be buying those products, but they were not available in the UK.
Despite how many times he's saying products, there's actually a limited range of things that are going to be included in this deal. Just need to put the membership goal up actually there. Sorry, I forgot earlier. And Ian McKenna's in the chat. Speaking of members, nice to see you.
Furthermore, in a historic step, the deal includes plans that will bring the United Kingdom into the economic security alignment with the United States. That's the first of its kind. So we have a big economic security blanket, and that's very important. And we feel very, very comfortable with that because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies. I mean, a lot of people say our greatest ally. I don't want to insult people by saying that, but I can say it's certainly one of our greatest, and right at the top. And they're the
Didn't he say the same things about Canada, where he tried to shaft them? And just quickly on the subject of Canada, it's very good of Mark Carney to sort of put it to Trump live on camera that there's no way that Canada's for sale to the United States. And then Trump said never say never, but you could see Carney mouthing the words never, never, never over and over again while he shook his head. Yeah, so who is the best ally? Make your mind up, Donald. Oh, he doesn't have a mind to make up, does he? That explains a lot, actually. I must make a note of that.
first one we're talking about. And by the way, we have many meetings planned today and tomorrow, and every country wants to be making deals. And we have a meeting, as you know, Scott will be going over to Switzerland on Saturday, and that'll be very, very interesting. We'll find out, but I think they want to make a deal very badly too. Both countries have agreed.
It's just his overall tactic, okay, is to try and make out that he's such a great deal maker that it's purely through his charisma and charm and intelligence and political acumen that all of these countries are coming up to him and starting to negotiate, when in actual fact he's turned around, done something that's economically ridiculous beyond belief. People are coming to him to ask him to stop, asking for some sort of stability, or at least to return back to the way things were before he started to make the changes. And he calls that good deal making. He thinks that's something to gloat about, something to be proud of. Give me a break. What a wise guy. Yeah.
That the economic security is national security, and we'll be working together as allies to ensure that we have a strong industrial base, appropriate export controls, and protections for key technologies and industries like steel. Steel is a big factor. Both countries will become stronger with steel and things necessary for military. You know, we used to build ships and other things literally at a level that nobody's ever seen, and we haven't. We've eased up, and I would say that the UK certainly eased up, but now we're going to be uneasing both, and we work together. Once again, I want to thank Prime Minister Starmer. He's been terrific for his partnership in this matter, the special relationship and external bond. It's really an external and an internal bond between our two countries will soon be stronger than ever before. And
so there's Keith with his team listening in. We'll be going over to him later, live from West Midlands, maybe Birmingham, something like that. I don't, is it Birmingham? I can't see any rats in the picture, so perhaps it might be Wolverhampton, Coventry. I'm not sure where in the Midlands.
We really do. We have a great relationship. I want to just say that the representatives of UK have been so professional, and it's been an honor doing business with all of them, and in particular the Prime Minister. And I'd like to introduce him now to say,
if Trump likes a deal, then it's obvious that whoever's on the other end of that deal isn't going to get a good bargain, isn't going to get fair terms.
a few words. Mr. Prime Minister, please take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President, Donald, and this is a really fantastic, historic day.
Just before we get into Keith, Davinia, interesting question about this slightly matching garb. I certainly think in Trump and Vance's case it's supposed to be some sort of subliminal, the red tie, the white shirts and the blue blazer, red, white and the blue. No coincidence, obviously. Vance is stood directly in front of the American flag, bearing those same colours. To the right, you can see Peter you can see the guy on the right, slightly matching, but with a darker tie. What's his face there on the left? He's not in for it. He didn't get the memo about the matching suits. And I was just about to try and make up a quip on the spot about why Mandelson's tie is slightly lighter, but I'll get back to you on that one.
In which we can announce this deal between our two great countries, and I think it's a real tribute to the history that we have of working so closely together. Can I pay tribute, Donald, to your negotiating team as well, particularly...
Yeah, do you remember when we illegally invaded Iraq together and other such capers?
Howard and Jameson, who've done an incredible job, a very professional job, and my team as well. Two negotiating teams have worked at pace now for a number of weeks to bring in this deal today. Really important deal. This is going to boost trade between and across our countries. It's going to not only protect jobs but create jobs, opening market access. And as you say, Donald, the timing couldn't be more apt, because not only was it 80 years ago today that victory...
There is a delay between what we're seeing on the video and what we're hearing from Starmer. Just by the way, that's as it was broadcast. It's not a problem with the connection, just so you know.
Came for Europe after and at the end of the Second World War, but of course on that day the UK and the US stood together as the closest of allies. And Donald, I think even down to the hour, because you may or may...
It's obviously just exchanging brown-nosed compliments at the moment. Oh, allies, yes, like strong friends, allies, historically, you know, just throw the words in the air, see where they land. Graham, don't worry about the language, it's fine, vent away, as long as it's venting towards Keith or Trump and not your fellow chatters. That's all well and good, which I know it is, of course. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I noticed, Graham, yeah, you just came in there with the comments. He sounds like he just can't wait to get through it. That was very unenergetic and monotonous. He's probably not had his daily whatever the fuck it is that he takes to keep him self-conscious or whatever. So I did kind of notice that there's something going on there.
I don't know that it was about this time of day, exactly 80 years ago, that Winston Churchill announced victory in Europe, and that led to great celebrations across Europe, across America. But
oh yeah, Keith, I can see them out the window now. I can see the celebrations, and they're not. Yep, they're shouting, "What a deal!" They're shouting, "Go Keith!" Yeah, that's what they're doing. People openly weeping with joy. It's so euphoric. I mean, I would go and join them, but I'm beholden to my amazing viewers here on the Brews at 10. How on earth is he trying to... I mean, obviously we were allies, but he's trying to make this link between that connection 80 years ago and this trade deal. No. It's not good form, that, Keith. And I'll tell you something else as well, just quickly while we're on the topic of the actual VE Day. Bearing in mind I'm obviously not singing the praises of Putin or anything like that, of course not. But I do think that the fact that Russia have been officially removed from the VE celebrations, the official celebrations in the West, I find that quite abhorrent for a couple of reasons. It's not only ignorant of history, ignorant of the truth. It was obviously the Soviets who first got the flag on the Reichstag. But it's a missed opportunity for diplomacy as well, because that could have potentially formed a bridge, formed a dialogue between the US, the UK and Russia, based on that mutual, what's the word, our mutual efforts as allies in the past. I'm pretty sure, though, of course, Putin would make arguments about the Cold War and look how the UK and the US turned against Russia, which would be historically accurate. But nonetheless, it's better than just completely cutting them out cold as well. So, again, that's not me singing Putin's praises by any means.
Particularly in the United Kingdom, literally people going out into the street, putting bunting up, going up to the palace, and so to be able to announce this great deal on the same day, 80 years. This great deal on the same day, 80 years.
Now it syncs up. The sound syncs up with the video. I don't know why that happened.
As we were 80
Must
years
be a problem
ago,
with
the
original
UK and
audio.
the US standing side by side, I think.
RC, great to see you in the chat. Tea bags and tea baguettes. Yeah. Nice one.
Is incredibly important and makes this truly historic. That close relationship has endured over those 80 years. As you know, Donald, when it comes to defence and security and intelligence sharing, of course, there are no two countries that are closer than our two countries.
Well, yeah, you spy on Palestine for Israel. For example, you do that together, don't you? Great pals. Yeah. Great illegal occupation pals.
And now we take this into new and important territory by adding trade and the economy to the closeness of our relationship. It is built, as you...
Well, first of all, whoever wrote that for you should have set a proximity as opposed to closeness. Do go on.
Say on those notions of fairness and reciprocal arrangements. We've always had a fair and balanced arrangement between our...
Jesus, right, okay. Get to the point. We want to hear the substance in this. Trump's gone on, yeah, his historical ties, blah, blah, blah. Keith's doing the same, trying to bring up, well, how... We get it. We get it. There have been trade deals between the United States and the UK for a long time now, and we've also been allies in war. It has taken you thus far 7 minutes and 18 seconds for both of them to tell us this, and that is all that they've said. And it's near the end.
This builds on that, hugely important. For sectors like car manufacturing and for steel and...
He just said that.
So
Trump just said that. He just said that. We know that, Keith.
many others. And yes, we can finish ironing out some of the details, but there's a fantastic platform here, including, of course, on the tech side, where I think I'm right in saying...
Who is dipping a baguette in a cup of tea in the chat? Yeah, that's a good point. You're not going to fit it in a standard cup. Andy, great to see you in the chat. Might need something bigger than a big cup. What about a yard? You know those glasses, a yard. They normally have beer in it, but I don't know if you could get away with using it to drink tea from, being as it's made of glass. I'd just be very careful if you try that. It'd fit, I guess. Even if it's a big baguette, yeah. As long as it's not longer than a yard. That's about 3 feet, by the way. Okay.
They're the only two Western countries with trillion-dollar sectors when it comes to tech.
And in the end, it comes down to, as you say, Donald, economic security is national security. On national security, we've been absolutely the closest of allies for so many years, keeping the peace through that close alliance, that friendship. And now we add to that this deal on trade and the economy. And I want to thank you for your leadership on that, Donald, and for the way in which your team have negotiated this. And I'm so pleased that we've got this deal. We've finalised it.
Now, I would risk my neck in suggesting, or chance my arm in suggesting, that Donald Trump insisted that Starmer put that bit into the speech, that bit about, oh, I really have to thank you for your great leadership. That's either just overkill brown-nosing that Starmer's exhibiting here, or Trump, you know, make sure you do the line about the brown-nosing. Oh, there's no deal, la la la. There could be other things going on behind closed doors. I'll get into that after we just hear the final little bit of this from Keith, and then we're going to go into that bonus round with his press statement.
And we've built an incredible platform for the future. So thank you so much. Donald, I'm now going to go and do a press conference. I think you have your press in with you. But on the details, I think if you've got Howard, etc., we can deal with that through one of my team.
Bloody hell. Look at the state of that. God, if I ran into that Oval Office right now, I'd feel sorry for the cleaners, let's put it that way. Actually, no, I'll probably end up just fainting because I wouldn't know who to go over and berate first. It's like some sort of distorted cheese nightmare, isn't it, people? Trump in the Oval Office, flanked by J.D. Vance and Peter. Ooh. Yeah. I think that's just about it.
That's great. Well, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much. He knows, but the U.S. and U.K. have been working for years to try and make a deal, and it never quite got there.
Yeah.
It did with
We already had deals. What are you talking about?
this Prime Minister. So I want to just congratulate you.
Well, with this President, this Prime Minister,
Keith's
we've
been
managed to
cut
achieve
off.
what many people have tried to achieve for
They've
many
just
years.
completely-
And I'm really pleased, and it feels...
I love how the director there has just gone, just cut Keith off, just cut him off there. Yeah, okay. He's cut Peter M off as well, so at least that's decent. I'd rather look at a series of boom microphones than his face.
completely historic and on a special...
Does Abraham Lincoln there? On a little, got a tiny bust of Abraham Lincoln on a separate stand. He's looking down and also probably looking very disappointed, actually. There's a statue of Abraham Lincoln here in Manchester, by the way, quite close to the town hall. He always has a serious look. He's known for that sort of gritty, serious look. But in this one, my goodness, just staring at the floor with forlorn disappointment is all I can describe that as. They've picked the right statue, that's for sure. Is this some sort of bust? Well, it's very impressive, madam, but we have to ask you some questions. No? Anything? Well, just back to the final moments of the clip then.
80-year anniversary as well. So, Donald, thank you so much. It's really good to...
That'll do. I'm calling that. I've heard enough so far. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you, thank you. BFFs forever. So now on to a bonus round of regular feature here on the channel. Something we normally do during PMQs, but we're going to just do it through this little statement that Keith's going to make. So on we go with Keith catchphrases. Let's get straight into it.
We now come to Prime Minister's questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Deliver. Black hole.
It's not Prime Minister's questions.
Deliver. Black hole.
Plan for change.
Deliver. Black hole.
Plan for change.
Deliver. Black hole.
Plan for change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Keith's catchphrases, and it's a bonus round. Bing! Alright. Yes, I just did the bing noise with my mouth when I've literally got a button right here that can do it. So it will be the same two contenders from yesterday, Deliver and Change. Just bring the scores up here. We're all familiar with the rules, obviously. Slight variations are allowed. That's the only rule that really applies in this situation. So we've got Postman Twat. And of course Change. Just reset these to 0-0. Good to go. And so yeah, every time we hear one we'll hear this noise, of course. And we'll either see Postman Twat or sleeves rolled up for Change. I hope it's a closer contest than the PMQs yesterday, that's for sure. So here we go. I've not actually watched this all the way through, so I'm going to have to be on my toes here.
I spoke to President Trump, the President of the United States, and I'm really pleased to announce to you, and I want...
I'll restart this. There we go. I wasn't monitoring the audio.
I spoke to President Trump, the President of the United States, and I'm really pleased to announce to you, and I wanted to come to you to announce that we've agreed the basis of a historic economic prosperity deal.
He's unaware that where he just came from was live on television. This is where you heard it first, people. It's like it's literally just been on the television. You'd literally just come from the actual announcement.
And that is a deal that will protect British businesses and save thousands of jobs in Britain. Really important, skilled, well-paid jobs. It will remove tariffs on British steel and aluminium, reducing them to zero. It will provide vital assurances for our life sciences sector, so important to our economy, and grant unprecedented market access for British farmers without compromising our high standards.
That is complete bollocks. I'm going to go into the reasons why after this. He's standing there and openly lying to people's faces and the public through the media as well. This is terrible for farming. This is awful.
And for the great British cars that you make here, that we see all around us, this deal means that the US tariffs will now be cut from 27.5% down to 10% for 100,000 vehicles every year. That's a huge and important reduction.
The tariffs are up overall, Keith. I'll go into the stats later. Again, that's a lie.
And I know from when I was last here how much that will have been weighing on your minds when you knew the size of the tariff that would otherwise be in place. And
yes, they are all wearing tracksuits, the people there. Now, he will have chosen a specific business to go and do this announcement at because it's about this. I'm surprised he hasn't got the sleeves rolled up actually in the video. That's one thing that's shocking. I don't know why they're all wearing tracksuits. Is it a leisure centre perhaps where he's making this announcement? I'm not sure why. It's obviously not a steel plant because they're all bloody shut down, aren't they? No, but seriously, they wouldn't be wearing that. If I think, I don't know where it could be. This dude's got a badge on. Is it? Am I curious enough to? Oh, right, okay, very, very quickly. Let's do a massive zoom in there. It's not a. Is it a Labour badge? I don't know what it is. Oh, it'll be a poppy. It's for VE days. Yeah. So, that's for November, dude. But fair enough. Crack on, Keith. You big useless flannel.
Get that decrease was hugely important to me. And I can tell you, my teams were working really hard on this deal night and day for weeks. I was working with them. And in politics, what matters sometimes is who you have in your mind's eye when you're making these deals. Who do you have in your mind's eye when you're taking decisions? And what I took away from here last time was you and the brilliant work that you do, and had you in my mind's eye as we did that. And we've got scope now to increase that.
My left eye's seen through your absolute crap here, Starmer. It's for working people, working people, working people.
Quota as we go forward, so this is not fixed. This is where we've got to, and all of these tariff cuts will come into place as soon as possible. And that's really important as well in relation to the work that you're doing and the brilliant cars that you make. And as Adrian has said...
Oh, it's the car manufacturers. Oh, Jesus. No, I think about it. I did hear earlier where he made the announcement from. It might come to me.
I was here with you just, as I say, a few weeks ago, and I promised you that I would deliver in the national interest. And today I'm really pleased to come back here to be able to look you in the eye and to say I've delivered on the promise I made to you. And that's why as soon as I knew this deal was coming in today,
he's off.
I said I want to come back to JLR to talk to the workforce there for whom this means so much. Now, of course, we are the first country to secure such a deal with the United States. And in an era of global insecurity and instability, that is so important. The great challenge of our age is to secure and to renew Britain.
Yes, we're proud to be the first to capitulate to Trump, to let the United States put us over a barrel in this chaos that he's created. That's something to be proud of. Oh, tell your children, tell your grandchildren, tell your great-grandchildren, just, oh, really, you know, someone please etch this in stone for the ages. Absolute bag of wank.
And that is what we're going to do. Acting in the national interest, shaping this new era, not being shaped by it. If it's not good for Britain, we won't do it.
Well, all right, you're packing up your bags and moving out of number 10 then. Oh, thanks a lot. Oh, that's great, he quits. Did you hear that? If it's not good for Britain, they're not going to do it. Off he goes. Des Dog, nice to see you in the chat again. I hope you're brewing nicely tonight.
If it doesn't mean more money in people's pockets, we won't do it.
Then, are you going to reinstate the winter fuel payments? There have been further hints that he's under a lot of pressure now. He can't shake that one off. That's one he's not going to shake off. I said this yesterday. the winter fuel payments and the PIP will stick with him throughout his tenure. Whether that lasts until 2029 remains to be seen. Just having a quick look at the people in the background. I think your man to the right of Starmer, as we look at him, isn't convinced. The fella who has the badge on that I zoomed in on earlier, he certainly looks a bit apprehensive, doesn't he? A little indifferent. Behind that, over that gentleman's left shoulder, as we look at him, we've got some sort of shop mannequin for some reason. None of them are smiling. None of them are smiling. They've all been dragged out of the workplace to come and look at Starmer, who they either voted for and are disappointed by, or didn't vote for, so don't want to listen to him. And I always think they should collectively object. You know, people in businesses, whether they go and do it in a hospital or whether it's in a warehouse somewhere, wherever it is. These photo ops, these press opportunities, the staff should just say no. Like it's not in our contracts. We're not contractually obliged to come and help out this politician. And I'll bet you these same sort of places, when things like Brexit were going on and around the time of elections and whatnot, people get told off for talking politics too much on the shop floor, and then the next minute they'll get dragged out to try and be a prop for Starmer in the background. Look, I am among the workers. I am one of you. I am definitely not upper middle class. Well, I guess he's lower upper class now at this point. Obviously, he's knighted. He was Queen's Counsel. He was, very decorated by the establishment as well. But there he stands amongst ordinary working people, which he likes to harp on about so much. Christ.
If it doesn't mean security and renewal in every part of the country, we won't do it. But that doesn't mean we're turning inward. Instead, we're sending a message to the world that Britain is open for business, seeking...
When were we closed for business? Tell us this time in history when we were closed. Ring, 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 ring. Hello. Minister for Trade. Hello, we've got this new product, this new commodity. We'd like to sell some to you. Does that sound like a good idea? No, we're closed today. Thank you. This is Great Britain. We don't do deals with people. That's not going to start until 2025. Are you bonkers? When were we closed? We're open for business. That means we're open for bad business. That means come one, come all with you. And you won't believe, the absolute shite that we're actually going to be buying from the United States of America in this thing as well. Which I'll go into in more detail very shortly. We're open for business. We were closed before. Of course we were closed. Don't you all remember?
Trade agreements with India on Tuesday, with the U.S. today, and working to boost trade with other partners too, including, of course, the EU, with whom we have a really important meeting.
Just don't mention leaving the EU, Starmer, whatever you do.
Just a week on Monday, making deals that will benefit working people. And
Are we going to join the customs union and single market? No, we're not. That is the thing that's most detrimental to GDP. Also freedom of movement as well. And the visas, the lack of qualified talent that we're missing out on as a consequence of Brexit is somewhat exponential as well. So We're not going to get that back. We're not going to get the trade back that we had, Keith. Don't try and laud these negotiations as being a suitable replacement, because then you know better than Jacob Rees-Mogg. Really. What was the one he said? Oh, well, there will be benefits, but we won't feel them for 50 years, when people will have basically forgotten that he made that quote in the first place. Some of us will no longer be here. So, yeah, elephant in the room. And just don't get me started on how Starmer destroyed Labour's chances in the 2019 election using the very topic as a political football to stab Corbyn in the back. We all know about that, don't we, people?
In recent years, an idea has taken hold that you somehow show your strength by rejecting your allies, that you shut the door, put the phone down, storm off. I've had plenty of people urging me to do that, rather than stay in the room and fight for the interests of our country.
They're going to be looking, the people behind him are going to be looking at the wage slips the next time they get paid. And there's going to be a deduction, isn't there, for the time that they've taken out to come and watch this, and it'll be, you know, minus whatever hours, and then the value next to it. Keir Starmer appear. His name will be on there. I'm sure they'll love him for that.
And I want to be absolutely crystal clear. That is not how this government operates. It's never how we will operate. We don't storm off. We stay in the room and we negotiate and we work for our country.
We don't storm off. Tell that to Nigel Farage. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, spitting your dummy out because, because we made up these things about the EU.
With the national interest at the foremost of our mind. Because the other way of working doesn't deliver the benefits that working people need.
3-0.
So I also want to be clear, this is just the start. With the deal we've done today, we can say jobs saved, jobs won, not
but
job
Keith,
done, because we're more ambitious for what the UK and the US can do together.
This is just the start. We want it to be the end. We don't want to be doing deals with Donald Trump. Not like this. This is just the beginning. That's terrifying. You know, and the one that he's getting all hyperbolic about that we made with India this week as well. For whatever paltry amount that was. Again, no reason to be shouting it from the roofs. You know, we're all saved. You know, this is where things turn around. And neither the India deal or the US deal combined are going to get us anywhere near that, Keith. You well know it. And certainly in the case of the one that we're doing with Trump, it's bad for the UK. It's very, very bad.
So we're hammering out further details to reduce barriers to trade with the United States across the board. We have...
Graham, who writes his speeches, some overpaid clot. That's who writes Starmer's speeches. Yeah.
£1.5 trillion invested in each other's economies, creating 2.5 million jobs across both countries. And there are so many areas where I think we can do even more than that.
Well, not even doing that again. He's lying.
Put pounds in the pockets of working people across the United Kingdom.
It's not going to do that. What you've done is you've been tricked into buying an absolute sack of shite from the United States of America. And let's go into a little bit more about that now, people, before I get through a couple of other stories. Just very quickly. You'd probably be aware, they mentioned steel as part of the deal, but beef as well. Now, I don't know about you, I won't be interested, and, you know, I don't even personally eat beef, but, well, much. And I certainly wouldn't be confident about any that would come out of the United States. Keith claims that our food standards are going to be upheld, but that contradicts what the United States says again. Everything the United States has said has been contradicted. It's on the .gov website, you know. The tonnage that's been agreed with different products varies from what Trump's announced as well. It's very safe to say that Trump has overstated them, of course, as always. And some other things don't match up as well with what Trump and Keith were saying there. You heard Starmer talking about a like-for-like swap there, increasing, 1.5 trillion from each side in this trade deal, as though it was very even-sided. But it isn't. We're getting shafted 6 ways from Sunday, and here's why. I'll just cut out the background. Apologies for that. Here's one reason. When you look overall at the tariffs, well, they speak for themselves. So now our tariffs on the United States are 1.8, down from 5.1. Meanwhile, instead of paying 3.4, we've now gone up to 10%. Starmer thinks that's a good deal. We get less from them, and we end up giving more to them. Getting fucked from both sides here, aren't we? Really? Let's be honest. And other than steel beef and something to do with ethanol, I believe, there's very little in it. Now, they've mentioned cars as well, and these aren't going to be electric cars. This isn't going to marry up with what Keith says about being ambitious on climate change and renewable energy. It's going to be the opposite of that, because that's the way that Trump's going. He's completely thrown renewables under a bus. The only way he's going to be able to support that economically is by trading vehicles that consume fossil fuels, or otherwise he's contradicting his own plan. None of it's good, people. I wish there was a sort of silver lining. I wish it, it's not sort of, oh, it's a bit give and take, but it's just sort of slightly this way, slightly that way. It's diabolical. It's diabolical for us. It's not a good deal. It's not something to stand there and gloat about. And it's an insult to anybody's intelligence to act as though it is, but that's Starmer for you. Now then, speaking of Starmer and beef, excellent link, excellent segue, quality, tenuous link coming up. Speaking of Keir Starmer and beef, I'm not the only one who's got beef with Keir Starmer at the moment. see what I did there? We saw on yesterday's PMQs, like I mentioned earlier, Shock at Adam got up, asked some questions about the UK's complicity in Israel's occupation, illegal occupation in Gaza. To which Starmer gave a very short and unsatisfying response. If you weren't with us yesterday, please do check that out if you want to see the question I'm talking about. But he's written to Starmer, he's not going to let this slide. Andy, thanks very much for the gifted membership. Solidari-Tea, brother. That takes us to 83. It's the new bingo call for 80. Solidari-Tea, 83. Eyes down for a full cup. I'll just make a quick note of that actually. Open Brews at 10 bingo hall franchise. Question mark. Okay. This is the letter. Don't know if that's very clear actually. I'll zoom in a little and then I'll just scroll up. So it's from Shock at Adam, MP for Leicester South, of course, unseated Jonathan Ashworth, writes, Dear Prime Minister, I'm hoping to receive clarification on your answer to my question at PMQs yesterday. During my question, I listed 4 facts, to which you responded, most of what the honourable gentleman says is simply not right. The facts I listed were that the Israeli government has approved a plan to officially conquer Gaza, that Minister Smotrich has vowed that Gaza will be, quote, entirely destroyed, and that Palestinians will have to, quote, leave in great numbers to third countries. Also, that over 50,000 Palestinian men, women and children have been exterminated. There has also been an expansion of illegal settlements in the West Bank. I'm sure you've been following the updates of this conflict as closely as I have. Therefore, I'm unsure which parts of my statement you believe to be untrue. I would greatly appreciate clarification in writing on which parts of my statement were, quote, simply not right. Furthermore, I did not get an answer to the following question. Will the Prime Minister now finally acknowledge that the ethnic cleansing is underway and end all military cooperation with Israel, especially the illegal provision of F-35 fighter jet parts, and be the Prime Minister to see Britain answer at The Hague for its role in this atrocity? He finishes by saying, I would greatly appreciate, I would be grateful for a response to both these elements, and your urgent consideration is appreciated. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Shock at Adam, whose signature is the Star Trek logo. Good to see him chasing that up. So, saying they're simply not right was pure ignorance. Those were facts. He's directly quoting there. Those stats are correct. It is actually more than 50,000 Palestinians. We're almost certain of that. That's just the official figure, but so many have been lost in the rubble. It's probably around double that. And they're all true. We know who he's lobbied by though, don't we? Oh, of course we do. Doc, nice to see you. Apologies, I missed another gifted membership, 5 gifted memberships in fact from Hedy. Thank you very much for that, brother. Awesome. Sorry, that was while I was reading through the letter, so thanks again for that. That takes us up to 88. Oh no! Should we really be on that number on VE Day? But, well, thanks everyone. Right, people, I'm going to have to get on to a couple of other matters now. We'll just skim over these stories. Want to quickly throw in my 2 cents. Okay, we'll start with sort of the continued aftermath of this local election. Let's go with something, well, definitely embarrassing on Reform's part. I would say light-hearted, but the fact that they've got this councillor in the first place isn't exactly light-hearted. However, they didn't actually know which council they were representing, and in a post, I'll just get rid of this scoreboard on the screen. In a post on social media, had to be corrected, yeah. Mary Hume, it is. Had to be told she is now a councillor in Lincolnshire County Council after describing herself as an East Lindsey councillor. This comes from Reform Party UK Exposed. Corrected by Carleen Dickinson, who swooped in to remind Natalie the elected candidates are all Lincolnshire County Councillors, and the area they represent is the division for which they were elected. I see Maria has made this post and you have copied it, but it is not correct. I did message Maria to say that she needed to change her profile description and didn't realise she'd also incorrectly posted this too, so it's someone else as well. This is becoming infectious. Do any of them know who they represent? Apart from private healthcare interests, fossil fuel lobbyists, this sort of thing, that goes without saying, doesn't it? Do they know the area of the people who they're pretending to represent? Please do amend, she goes on to say, please do amend or delete, as I don't feel it will instill confidence in the electorate if councillors do not even know which council they were elected to. And it's also very confusing for anyone who is not aware. Happy to delete this once amended if you keep the post. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's almost as though they just rounded up a bunch of inexperienced hypergammons. Almost, he says. Yeah, speaking of hypergammons, I guess this ties into reform as well. Can't believe this. I'm just waiting for this page to load up. So here in the northwest in Oldham, there's been an investigation after a Hitler party in a pub. Yes. You're not hearing things. That's the actual headline. God, I'm not even sure I can show the pictures, to be honest. Right, I'm gonna... So it's Oldham and Bolton. They're both just like either side of Manchester. When it was to open. Yeah, that's it. Who's that, people? Is that any better? Having some sort of semi-crash here. Not sure how smooth everything's coming through. Thanks for your feedback. Just keep me posted if it starts unbuffering. I wasn't muted, it was like everything was almost crashing. I managed to retrieve it, thankfully. Okay, yeah, I was just in the middle of saying that's quite a few different locations where all these people have been arrested as well, which is pretty concerning, and this weaponry that's been found as well. I've still got the error message up here that they're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, but I'll try and crack on and keep me posted. I mean, this really isn't what we fought against all that time ago, is it? Absolute numpties. There's a picture, and I'm not going to scroll back up and show you because it's got a certain symbol on it. I don't want to get into trouble. So I'll just describe it. Yeah, it's the Nazi symbol, basically. I can't show it, but it's on a cake. They had a cake with that on it. Other flags and stuff, people holding up banners, and yeah, just disgusting. Far right, absolute fascist shit. Yeah, I'm pretty revolted that that sort of thing is going on around here. In lots of areas of the northwest, like I said there, and even of, you know, freaking bomb squad having to go to Bolton. What a time to be alive. Okay, up next, people. Just staying with the aftermath of the locals kind of general theme. Some further news on the leadership race with the Greens. Obviously, Zach Polanski put himself forward a few days ago, but now officially Carly Denya's going to be pulling out of the race, currently co-leader, so let's see her statement when she announced this on her Twitter earlier.
The reason I was because this country for the better, make it fairer, greener and more compassionate. And it's been an enormous privilege over the last few years to work alongside my brilliant co-leader Adrian and wonderful deputy leader Zach to do that. Looking back at what Adrian and I set out to achieve when we stood to be the party's co-leaders back in 2021, I'm proud of what we've done. We've taken the party from 1 MP to 4, from 450 councillors to over 850, and winning nearly 2 million votes at the last general election. But this is just the start for me and the party. Today, after many months of careful consideration and steered as I always am by how can I make the biggest difference, I'm announcing that in the leadership election this summer, I will not be restanding as leader, to allow me to pour all of my skills, passion and energy into the positive and exciting things that I want to achieve in Parliament and in Bristol Central, including action to end the affordable housing crisis, tackle the climate emergency and campaign against racism and xenophobia. These are all issues that my constituents in Bristol Central feel passionate about, as do I. And this city, which I'm so proud to live in and represent, will continue to be at the heart of everything I do as an MP. Thank you so much to everyone who supported me throughout my time as co-leader. In this new five-party political system, it is all to play for. The future of the Green Party is bright, and I'm feeling really excited about continuing to play my part in it as Bristol's annoyingly persistent, totally committed Green MP. And I'm really excited to see what all of us can achieve together.
Well, she's out the running. What do you think about that, people? I'll just quickly share my thoughts with you. They do need to go further. There have been a few things said about whether, you know, they've got the right sort of imagery, personality to be able to do that. Zach Polanski seems like he's a bit more sort of down to earth. They do need to appeal to people outside of the middle class a lot more. They still sort of carry that stigma, if you want to put it that way, or that sort of reputation that they're mostly middle class, which I can sort of concur with myself. Again, just reminded you I'm not a party member personally, but I do know party members, even representatives and former councillors as well. So one thing this does rule out is a sort of standoff between Denyer and Ramsey as co-leaders, which could be a good thing, because again, that's not something you want to get distracted by or allow the media to sort of focus on. So if in this case Denyer's stepping down, then that does just rule this out. Adrian Ramsey hasn't made a statement yet, as far as I know. So at the moment, only he and Zach Polanski are in the running. But we'll see if anybody else comes forward. So it's current co-leader versus deputy leader. Interesting. But I agree, they're on the up. Not as much as they should be. Fair play if Denyer wants to concentrate on constituency work. That's certainly the exact polar opposite of what Nigel Farage is doing in Clacton, or not doing in Clacton, as I should point out. What do you think about that, people? If you are in the party, let me know if you think there's anybody who you'd like to see step up as candidates. Another quick post on social media is now well, I say just now, earlier today. Want to thank my good friend Rankson for pointing this out. On Middle East issues, this is. Sorry, it's taken a while to load up. Just on account of the on and off buffering. While that's happening, excuse me, I'm just reminded as well about one thing that Carla Denyer said about the now it's a 5-party system. So I guess she's, she did forget to mention the independents. There are 6 of those, so collectively they have more than both the Greens or Reform at the moment in Parliament. Red F is in the chat as well. Now, yeah, a couple of people have said you've got your reservations about Zach Polanski. From what I know, from what I've seen of him, he's always on point with what he says, as is also being mentioned in the chat. He's said a lot about Palestine in that promotional sort of announcement video yesterday. He was particularly energetic and enthusiastic, and really he called out fascism for what it was. He called out the rise of fascism, as well as the UK's role in the illegal occupation of Palestine, which is obviously music to my ears and my left eye. So yeah, let me know if there's anything specifically that makes you have your apprehension. Is it just a general mistrust of politics and politicians? That's easy to see why, obviously, especially here in the UK. Galloway, yeah, again he says the right things about Palestine, but I do see him as a bit of a grifter in the sense, you know, he has represented or stood for all these seats all over the place. The latest, of course, briefly being Rochdale. In fact, he was actually the subject of my most successful video to date here on YouTube. It was simply when he was sworn in to Parliament, which obviously created a lot of headlines at the time. But he didn't manage to maintain or sort of hold the seat, I should say, when it came to the general election. I definitely disagree with things that he says, especially about climate change and other matters as well. So pretty much outside of Palestine. Generally, no, not on board. Not on board with the guy. Chris Damo rates him. Is that Damo Kerno? Kerno. Yeah, I think he has done a video about his announcement. I've not gotten round to watching that one yet. Thanks a lot for those recommendations that you posted earlier, by the way. Do always appreciate that. It did remind me as well, I've not watched Jimmy Dore for a while, so that was good to check out. Thanks again, Octo. Yeah, just final word on Galloway. I'm sure he'll pop up again in some constituencies somewhere. So before that, I think he stood in Baton Spen, didn't he? Also, was it Bow in London? There's another area in that constituency. It'll come to me in a second. Obviously Rochdale, like I just mentioned. Will you lend me your vote? He says. Andy, another gifted membership. Thank you very much, sir. And that does take us off the 88 mark, which is fantastic. I cannot get this goddamn page to load. Sorry, people. I wasn't getting sidetracked there. But oh, I've apparently called it out enough to now make it load. So thanks a lot, Andy. Solidarity, brother. Let's go across to the screen without further ado. So yeah, Rankson at Revolting Hippie. Go and give him a follow. He's a great guy. Managed to spend some time with him a couple of weeks ago when I was down in London. Great to see him. So he points out, you know, the actress, Hollywood actress Gal Gadot, or Gadot, is filming in London today, tomorrow, Thursday the 8th and Friday the 9th. So anyone who's around London who wants to go and call her out, she is a former IDF soldier, of course. She supports Zionist Israel. Some people want to go out non-violently, of course. This is this isn't some sort of we're not talking about pitchforks and torches here, people. But there's this thing within the film industry, you know, about boycotts, about people who openly support Israel, but Gadot goes beyond that. She's a former IDF soldier. I mean, I don't know what she might have done in the role that she had, but there's certainly no forgiving that, whatever it was. So she's famous for woodenly, emotionlessly playing characters like Wonder Woman from the DC universe, for example. Yeah, if you want to check out those vids I mentioned that Octo shared, do check out the comments on yesterday's stream. There are two there. There's Jimmy Dore, the one I just mentioned, and a Brexity one as well. Right, so yeah, people are meeting up at 30 South Colonnade, East 14 5HX. There's going to be a protest if you're in the area, if you're in London tomorrow. I won't be there, unfortunately. That's well, I will be doing something else instead, but very far. I could post the link, but yeah, everyone's going to have to sit and watch me do it while I go to the page. One sec. Of course, as long as it doesn't take too long to load up, I'll just quickly go to the comments section. I hope quickly. While I'm doing that though, I will play another comedy clip. This comes from a friend of the channel, a fellow environmentalist and protester, very good friend of mine as well, Climate Lens. I'll be posting a link to the channel in the description of this stream as well as this video. Please do go and subscribe. Do recommend it. He's recently started doing some parodies of Donald Trump that we've seen. So this is the latest one, but it's actually footage from a JSO social gathering in Manchester, part of which was filmed by yours truly. So you will hear a perhaps familiar voice at the end of the skit. Yeah, so Trump's there, and now that because in his last parody video it was Trump on a Zoom call, but Trump on a Zoom call having had some sort of epiphany and now joined the climate movement, so Now this is his latest step into that endeavour. Check out Climate Lens, and then yeah, I'll be posting the links to those vids in the chat. Look out for those.
The reason I got into politics was because I wanted
It's the one underneath it.
I'm ready to take action with Just Stop All now. Can I be part of your woke gang? Good evening to the great unwashed, the eco mob, the tofu-eating wokerati, you bunch of absolute legends! My name is Donald Jim Trump, and after my recent existential awakening, I decided to join the climate movement. So here I am! Thank you. I'm ready to take action with Just Stop All now. Can I be part of your woke gang? Can I be part of it? Yep. Yeah, go. I heard they've disbanded because their first demand has been met. I'm guessing that means they were successful. Am I right? Yes. But they're no more, and that's a shame. That really is. It's a terrible shame. It really is a terrible shame. So welcome to the very last Manchester Just Stop Oil celebration for what you've all achieved. I want to congratulate every single one of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and stepping into a civil resistance. A 3-year campaign that brought out the very best of humanity, like me, and probably the very best of humanity. So join me in raising a glass and give yourselves a pat on the back, but not at the same time. I have a message to read out and some thank yous, and then I'll let you get back to consuming your vegan products and hugging your trees. This is a message from Paul Climate Lens, who unfortunately can't be with us tonight. He's got better things to do. And it reads like this. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to the truth. Thank you for giving me the courage to take action. And thank you for always being there to support me and many others every step of our journey. You've been amazing. Over the last 3 years, I've met some of the most incredible people, and I've made friends for life and gained courage and confidence I did not know I had, but I have. I really have it. I feel honored to have been part of such an incredible movement at this time in history. The fight for a livable future continues, and I'm here for whatever comes next. Thank you and have a great party! We also have a special thank you to Lucy for organizing all the Manchester socials, and to Kathy and the soup team. You're all incredible and amazing people. And finally, please follow me on... Oh, hang on a minute. Please follow me on Facebook at Trump for a Climate. Have yourself a very nice evening. Thank you
That's of course not an actual thing.
very much. Thank you.
Is that a wig?
I'm not doing that again.
No, of course, Trump for Climate is just the series within Climate Lens that they're doing at the moment. Great stuff as well. Go and give them a follow. There's going to be links in the description. Yeah, that was great. Evening last week. You can, yeah, that's my footage on the right. They're just raising a drink as well. You can see Ollie there. He's the one who, do you remember the taking a dump in Sunak's swimming pool. I mean pond. In the pond. Do you remember that one? And there you can also see Zoe Cohen. You can see it better in the shot on the left. She's the one who outrageously sat on the floor during an interview with Sky, caused a great amount of shock, of course. It was such a simple but out of the ordinary act. It was, yeah, a great social. And I should point out as well, there's a lot of serious stuff on Climate Lens as well about the environment and stuff. So do check that out, people. Also, check this out, especially if you like a few tunes with your bros. Christ, that was loud, sorry.
Do you like a hot, tasty beverage with your music? Then my left eye has got a treat for your ears. The Brews at 10, the album, all your favourite beverage-based hits from the 1960s to now, all in one place.
Volume 5 is now available, featuring Brew Much, Brew Young, The Specials, No Woman, No Chai, Bob Marley, Papa's Got a Brand New Tea Bag, James Brown, Teenage Kicks, The Undertones, She Loves Brews, The Beatles, plus many more. Order now.
Sorry about that, people. A bit of buffering on my end again. Thanks a lot again to all the members. Make sure you hit thumbs up on the stream as well, please, tonight, people. That'd be awesome. Also, the latest Pat McFadden experience that I debuted on yesterday's live stream has now gone public. It was members only. Went public a short time before I came onto the stream, so please check that one out. A bit of homegrown parody content here on the channel. RC Pilots, thanks for the information there. Quite an interesting discussion going on in the chat. What a lot of... They're talking balls. We're talking bollocks. Literally. In the chat. Okay, running nice and smooth once again. Sorry about the couple of minor disruptions on the stream. Technology is what it is, people. Apologies. But as the hour grows late, I'm going to go looking for a raid. I think I've just about covered everything that I wanted to tonight. Ah, awesome. Yeah, Kev's live. So we'll go over to Kevin Logan. Do stick around, people. I'll come over and join you myself for a little bit, but that will be all from me here on the Brews at 10 tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Thanks a lot for all of the support as well. So I'll see you over on Kev's page. Take care, everyone. My Lefty, I'll be seeing you soon. Power to the people and free Palestine.